to the 10th annual presentation and judging a book by its cover, presented by Melissa Kaercher Enterprises.
She's having a year. It's a moment. It's a Melissa moment this year. I feel like it's big Melissa.
True. Melissa, this is the first time Melissa has ever got a prize. In
2027, she's going to be the theme.
Yeah.
And all the guest of honors, every single one.
Wow. So what happens is Melissa keeps coming up with ideas that involve her creating some sort of AV presentation while the rest of us do all the work. So, and I respect that, I really do. So the way this works is we brought six, believe it or not, six book experts in with us today. We are going to present a book cover to them in groups of 4, 2 teams of 2 each. And they are going to tell you about the book, even though the cover has been completely scrubbed of title or any other identifying information that might tell you what the book is about. But they're experts. They don't need any of that information because they already know what the book is. So we're going to play 3 rounds, and we have 2 teams in each round. Each team will get its own book, and the team that's not playing that round will get to give us the titles of the book. So that's the basic thing that many of you have seen before. I'm introducing a new wrinkle this year that might work, and we'll do it every time, or it might not, and we will do it once. We'll see how it goes. So here's what the new wrinkle is. They have, 6 minutes to present the 5 minutes. They have 5 minutes. That's a very long time. So what we're going to do is they're going to get 2.5 minutes to present the plot of the book, and then 2.5 minutes for the audience to ask questions about the plot of the book. So,
Yes.
So think about how you're going to say your question concisely.
yeah.
Please.
Really, think about it ahead of time because you're cutting into the time.
Yeah, because, I want to make it really clear, this is not your panel. So, raise your hand, ask your question, be done, and let them answer. That's the plan. That's the plan. We're going to see how it goes for this first round. If it goes great, we'll keep doing it. And if it doesn't go great, I might keep doing it anyway because I'm a jerk.
So this means that you could be the one that ruins it for everyone.
Yeah. All right. So here we go. We flipped a coin backstage and determined that the team of Shannon and Jerry will be presenting first.
Yes.
Don't hurt yourselves.
Sorry.
The smattering of applause.
I should be introducing our experts to you before we start. The team that's not playing this round is Eric Thompson. And I don't even think I've seen you at all this convention. Lee Harris. They are lounging for this first round. Playing this first round, Miss Shannon Paul. I believe she, like other members of this panel, will be appearing on Mainstage later tonight.
Absolutely.
She is partnered with Mr. Jerry Belich. He loves Minnesota so much, he moved away.
Is that why this panel was no longer my idea?
Yes. Cool.
It was our idea.
Yeah. Well, what happened is you said to Melissa, I've got an idea, and then Melissa went.
I activated the Melissa box.
And of course, we have Molly Glover. And Nick Glover. Once again, our first presenters are going to be Miss Shannon Paul and Mr. Jerry Belich. We're going to show you the book cover, and the team of Lee and Eric will give you the title of the book. Here's book number 1. What the? Okay, Lee and Eric, you of course have read this book many times, and it is titled...
It's the 1963 classic Ghost Pilot.
Ghost Pilot, the 1963 classic. Shannon and Jerry, you have 2.5 minutes to describe the entire plot of the book before the audience starts asking you questions. Go.
Wait, one more time. What's the title again?
Ghost Pilot.
Ghost pilots. You know, I had to ask again because there were so many options for Ghost Pilot. Like they went through a few iterations of the name before they landed on this one in 1963. There was Ghost Tyrant, there was Pirate Ghost, there was Ghosty Piratey, and all these things went through.
Well, it wasn't the original, it was actually just called Autopilot, but there was a mistranslation.
Yes. And then we ended up with Ghost Pirate instead of Ghost Rider. It was an interesting little play on word that they had there, Jerry. I appreciated that as well. But one of the things I thought was interesting is that it was a misnomer that when people saw that it was going to be about a ghost and a pirate, like so many books back then, it turned like, hey, you got a pirate in it, you know it's a romance. So this was romantasy before we knew that bodices could be ripped, is what it was. And they took it to space just to really just throw you off a little bit.
Yep. So we got Autopilot to Ghost Pirate to Ghost Autopirate. All of this happening in space just outside of Mars,
Yes.
Which is very important because of when they finally get down to the planet, which was very fraught in and of itself, that's when they found the mummies,
Yes.
which is a natural enemy of the pirate and pilots.
And I think it's funny because once you put them in their own habitat, the same as if you have any things like aphids or anything and you have ladybugs that come and just take care of them in their natural habitat, they weren't able to like come into this new habitat and then just take over and infest it because the mummies are like, hey man, we were already here.
Exactly, the mummies live underground.
Right.
It's just like in Egypt, usually they burrow and they create little chambers, then they make escape rooms, and then they go to sleep.
Yeah, which
Like
really,
cicadas.
Yeah, which really made sense because when they would start to maybe run out of air that they had brought with them once they landed there, they were able to preserve it because they were in the little burrows. And so they had these little pockets of air, and then they would just occasionally just like pop up a little straw, and they would use that, and they had to work on a filtration system. It was very difficult. Yeah.
30 seconds.
Oh,
It's less now.
Oh.
Makes him very useful. So one reason that the pirates were trying to get there is they're hoping to make basically what's a giant ant farm, and then bring that closer to Earth so they could get some tourism going.
Okay, stop. That's the entire plot of the book. It's time for questions. All right, right here, real quick, what's the question?
What do you think of the importance of the presence of the packaging as an early representation of romantasy shipping?
Already a question about packages, I see.
You know, I always appreciated that because you know a little special thing from a lady, that's what you want sometimes. And sometimes you care about that more than the actual book itself, don't you? You just want something that you can put up on your counter and go, when I look at that, I feel sexy. And so the packaging was more important to me than the actual books once I read it.
And you notice there's a lot of tools on the cover. They're all metaphors, each tool.
Yes.
Yeah, packages and tools are definitely a metaphor. All right, we have a question right here.
How do the mummies burrow into the ground?
Ooh, good question.
I mean, their hands.
Good answer, all right.
You said it was fraught with perils to get to Mars in the first place. What were those perils?
Oh, so many perils. Like the first thing that they happened is that of course there's pirates, there were buccaneers that were coming in from a different place, and so they were like, we didn't expect to be accosted here. This was supposed to be a clear trade route, right?
Yeah. And then Matt Damon was in the way. And they were, because you got to go on a particular trajectory to get down and land safely, and you wouldn't get out of the goddamn
And
lane.
he looked so trustworthy for a minute, and then he just turned on him.
But he's a slow driver.
Yes. Not merging at all, no.
Zipper.
Zip.
Okay, we have time for another question. Oh, over here, okay.
Was it you?
Yeah.
You were first.
How many Bothans died in the effort to get the package?
The odd thing is that no one was dying in the making of this book at all. There were a few bodices ripped, but nobody actually perished in this last.
There's a lot of bondage, though.
All right, 15 seconds. We have time for another question. Believe it or not. Yeah, right here.
So you said the mummies were like cicadas. How many years does it take for them to burrow and then go back down?
I think it was like 1 2,000 years.
Yeah, 1 to 2,000 years.
Get proper and ancient.
Yes, because that's what you want to do, is you want to let them marinate, kind of like jerky.
They put all their organs into their jars, and then they get all
Time's up.
Yeah.
Time's up. So, if I'm hearing this correctly, we here on Earth have things like 17-year cicadas or 7-year cicadas. They have
1,000
1 to
years.
2,000 year cicadas. Very specific. All right. That was an amazing description of the book, some good answers to those questions. And I think all we need to do now, do we need to reveal the actual title of the book?
Yes, we do, sir.
Believe it or not, the title of the book is not Ghost Pirate. Wasn't it Pilot? Yeah, and they did Ghost Pirates. Yeah, okay. Anyway, what is the actual title of this book? It is Secret of the Martian Moons. The secret of the Martian Moons, as far as I can tell, is how smacking this guy on the back of the head is going to do anything because he's wearing a helmet. Like, bonk, does it hurt his ears? What happens? I don't know. Okay.
The fact that he has an Amazon package, I loved that.
And he's wearing a glass helmet? Why would he wear a glass? I don't know.
Well,
Okay.
it's old Pyrex, so the good shit.
All right. I'm just going to say whatever the name of this next book is, it should involve words that the team playing can understand. So let's take a look at book number 2. What is going on up there? Okay. All right. Lee and Eric, I need to have you give us the title of this book.
Wow.
Besides Nightmare Fuel.
The name of this book is I Dated the Solar System.
I'm not so sure that's not the actual name of the book. But Nick and Mike, 2.5 minutes to describe the plot to I Dated the Solar System. Go.
Yeah, this is the classic girl meets girl, girl meets planet, planet meets planet, planet dies, planet falls in love with a different planet. Kind of an eat, pray, love situation.
She finds herself, she knows exactly who she is, but also because she is a solar system, she actually comprises multiple other planets like Angela, Pamela, Samantha. And so as I continue, the names do get sweeter as you go further along into the solar system. That said, this is a book about women. This is a book about love. This is a book about what it means to be a woman, and if that even matters in a solar system planetary kind of gender void.
It really makes you ask the question, do I need a little bit of Monica in my life?
Because she's at the end of the solar system,
Right.
that's what we're all trying to get to, is a little bit of Monica. She's very small. She's actually a dwarf planet, and she's struggling with self-esteem because she was recently just busted down from and it's hard, because, you just feel diminished.
Yeah, and there's some like hateful, like, oh, you're just an asteroid, like, so it's weird that these planets are reflecting some of the same like body politics of Earth humans, right? Where you get to like really see ourselves represented in the spheres.
Also, what I love about our protagonist, the I, and I Dated the Solar System, is that they are but a humble human girl. And so, she's really clumsy, but also extremely good at everything. And that's what we want to see in a protagonist. She's just like so scatterbrained and random, but also she's keenly focused on being able to journey from planet to planet through her engineering expertise.
A will they, won't they, but the they in this case is like 9 planets.
It's a plural noun. It's a plural noun in this
Plural
instance.
noun in this instance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, you know, seeing some of the calamities that happen on some of the planets, there's like this microcosm going on there that is a representation of what's happening.
Well, it's
in
like
the
Game of
relationship.
Thrones. It's like so political.
And when some of the planets can betray other planets by throwing off gravitational waves,
Yep.
like throwing shade. It's
Oh my God,
really-
and the moons! They're so cute. The moon situation.
They're like every planet's little fan
That's
club.
time's up. We don't get to learn about the moons unless somebody asks a question about the moons. Let's go back here and get. What do you got?
Is there a sex scene in the book?
No, there is not a sex scene in the book. There are many sex scenes in the book.
It is romantasy at its purest form.
Yeah. All right, right here.
Which I mean.
Oh, the same question. Never mind. We know. Okay, yeah, right here.
Did they all meet at the same time?
There were a couple of poly relationships. That was really interesting. I thought they explored that dynamic really confidently. It seemed like Earth, Mars, and Venus were in sort of a kitchen table poly situation, while there was more of a like hinge situation as you got further down. And I don't know, it felt respectful to me, but I'm monogamous.
To me, it seemed like the closer in proximity the planets were, the more of that kind of a kitchen table type relationship they had. But the further out they got, the bigger the planets were, the more kind of like a disconnected in those ways the relationships were.
Belta Lauda.
Did they have a 3-body problem?
You didn't raise your hand, sir.
He's not wrong though.
What did you think of the symbolism of the protagonist having to destroy a moon in order to put a ring on it?
One of my favorite moons. She just had this like gentle naivete about her that made her a really likable character. So you knew she was doomed.
I did, yeah. Too sweet to live, for sure.
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
Sure.
But her moon, remember saying moon all the time, just so cute. Like,
She had like asteroid dimples.
Okay.
I wondered if you could talk a little about the controversial representation of gas giants in the times.
No, you have gas giants in your.
So I wouldn't say like I felt particularly represented by like Jupiter in this book. I think it was like a great try. It was like a nice effort. I understand like you're getting there. You're fine. I don't want to like criticize them too much to shut them down and make them not try again harder. You know.
They should have hired sensitivity readers. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
They should have hired sensitivity readers.
Okay, I think we probably have time for one more question over here.
Time's up.
Never mind.
The answer to your question is yes, 5 times.
Yeah. Okay, amazing description of I dated the solar system, which seems a lot like, I mean that could be the title of this book, but it probably isn't. It probably isn't, Melissa. What is the actual title of this book? It is Echo in the Nightmare in the Flesh.
My ears are burning.
I have no idea what that image has to do with the title of this book. Right, Nightmare in the Flesh.
2 books in 1. Lee, have you guys thought about trying that? 2 books in 1? I think you have a page complete double your fun. Like, I don't know why you guys didn't jump on that.
So that completes round 1. Went super fast with that question.
Yes.
It's just like, wow. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to rotate out the winner of this round. And the winner of this round, by audience applause, I just need to know, do you think the winner of this round is Jerry and Shannon? Or is it Nick and Molly? So Nick and Molly are rotating out. Jerry and Shannon stay in. We bring in Lee and Eric to play. While Nick and Molly will, of course, be providing us with the names of...
The winners get to the winners get to take a little breaky break.
Yeah. You lose, you don't get to, you get with no rest, except you're automatically going to win this next round because you have to take a break. So
spoilers. Well, now I'm just going to phone it in.
All right, round 2. Nick and Molly will be giving us the title to the book that you're about to see in front of us, which is book 3 or book 1 for round 2. It is. Oh, I'm sorry. This is going to be described by Eric and Lee. Eric and Lee.
Okay.
All right, so you have only 2.5 minutes to describe the entire plot of this book, which would be no problem for Lee because he's an editor. All right, you may go. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't have the title yet. I got ahead of myself. Thank you. Thank you. What's the title of this book?
The title of this book is Shame on You, Satan.
Oh no! All right, Eric and Lee, 2.5 minutes to describe Shame on You, Satan. Go.
Yeah, I remember this book very, very well. It's one of the first books I read when I was in secondary school in the UK. I wasn't supposed to, obviously, because it's a bit of a raunchy book. It's a sex comedy. If you have a look at, you can tell it's an old book. Because if you have a look at Satan on the cover, the special effects are very bad. But you know, it's Shame on You, Satan. It was basically until this book came out, everybody, the general consensus was that Satan actually was quite a good guy. and it was this book that changed the public consciousness because he got up to so many, well, I say naughty things in it.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. So basically, Satan got very bored with hell and decided, I'm going to go up to rural Wisconsin. I'm going to find a nice little suburb and buy a house and just get up to antics with my neighbors. So it was kind of a take on some of the popular sitcoms at the time. It was just they wanted to bring in Satan as someone who was a little more fun and willing to get up to things, and it just kind of spiraled a bit out of control.
Yeah, because there was this one scene where Satan has just bought himself a dog because he wants to fit in with the local community. But unfortunately, because he never had a dog before, he wasn't really quite sure what you're supposed to do with it. And it turns out, fucking it is not the right
which made it really awkward in a later scene when he tried to invite the neighbors over for a dinner, and none of them could find the dog. Don't boo at me, it's Satan.
Exactly. Shame on you, audience. I think he got the idea.
30 seconds.
If I remember right, he got the idea for that because the dog was humping his leg, and he thought, oh, that's what happens.
So it was the antics with the dog. Yeah. We had 4 or 5 women that he tried to have relationships with, which blew up spectacularly.
And then he blew up 3 of his neighbors' houses.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. It was, I believe, a 4th of July fireworks accident, but then it ended up with being shame on you, Satan. He's like,
oops. Okay, time's up. We're going to go to audience questions. I'm going to point out that building does absolutely look like suburban Wisconsin. Sure it does. All right, we're going to go back here for our first question from the audience with 2.5 minutes to go. Here you go.
What do you say about the proposed TV adaptation of it?
You see, there's already been a TV adaptation of it. Do you remember that?
Yeah, it was called Who's the Boss?
What happened to the dog afterwards?
Oh, what happened to the dog?
I didn't catch that.
What happened to the dog?
Pepper, salt, cayenne pepper.
Oh, we have a question up front. Yeah, let's see what this stranger has to say.
Would you be interested in coming on an atheist podcast to talk about this book?
Yes, of course, absolutely.
What do you want? Okay. Well done, Nick. Okay.
What do Satan's bandoliers say about suburban crime sprees?
At the time that this book was written, it was actually very much the norm. If you've been to Wisconsin, you'll understand. But Yeah, as soon as they crossed the border into Wisconsin, he was like, "Oh, sweet, I can buy these without a license because society."
And murder wasn't such a big thing in those days.
Right.
Okay, I'm running over here. Okay, yeah. Oh.
So what do you think of the Spaceballs crossover with President Scrooge?
Wow.
So the difference was that when Satan was teleported and his front was backwards, he just kind of went with it for a while. That was like an entire section of the book, and it got very, very graphic.
And because
30 seconds.
It was swapped over, that's where we get the difference in the word fanny from the American.
I was just wondering how they got Charles Bronson to sit for the cover art.
How did they get Charles Bronson to sit for the cover art?
There is actually some peanut butter on a stick just outside. And every time it started moving, they kind of waved it a little bit.
All right, up here. Oh, never mind.
Tim, I have a quick question.
Sure.
Why does Satan keep a comb sticking up the front of his pants?
You know.
That's not a comb, that's his pet centipede.
Oh, I get it now. Yeah.
Shame on you, Satan.
Well, that was a description of the book Shame on You, Satan, except it's not the name of the book.
What?
It's hard to believe. I think this was probably published by your publishing company. But I guess maybe before your time. I don't know. Let's find out what's the name of it. It is The Fox Woman.
Okay.
The only complete collection of novelettes and short stories by the author of The Moon Pool.
Yeah, but that's just the woman. That's still Satan.
No, that's a fox? I don't know. Anyway, your description of what that book was excellent. And now we have Jerry and Shannon to put up a description of book number 4. But we need a title, and to get a title, we need to see the cover. Let's see the cover. What? I know what this book's about, but she's pissed. All right, do you have a title? Okay, yeah.
It's The Scarlet lowercase d.
The Scarlet lowercase d. Jerry and Shannon, 2.5 minutes to describe the entirety of the plot before the audience can ask questions. Go.
So when these two were in college together, when they first met, they had this hilarious prank where whenever one would fall asleep around the other, they would write either penis or dick on the other person's skin. Of course, this is now 25 years later, they have kids, one's a lawyer, and she doesn't think it's so funny anymore.
And then sometimes, just because he's like, I need to be really efficient on my actions, instead of writing penis or dick, we have this.
The P.
The PD. The PD. And so, sometimes you've been in a relationship long enough, like 20 years or so, and you just think that people are going to grow out of things. And then so she would just wake up, and this was just an example of, I thought he would grow out of this, and now, while I was sleeping, the PD again?
But this isn't just her falling asleep at home on the couch. This is him, following her to the office. She falls asleep for 5 minutes at her desk because she keeps long hours at the law office.
And the kids.
Yeah. And of course, the second she's asleep, draws it right on her, then she goes to the big meeting.
And one of these things is that it really was just a really anthology about this is how you need to work through counseling in a relationship. And so you were just sitting there and you would go and every once in a while see your therapist and they'd go, you know what, you don't seem to be getting this from the words that I'm saying, so maybe you're a visual learner. And so they would just start and gut out this book, which was really more of a workbook type thing. And so it was the PD for some people in a relation. For other people, it was actually a penis or a dick that they had to draw out. And they just had to practice that. And hopefully, if they continued to draw the symbols, they no longer felt that they needed to use that in the relationships.
Yes, exactly. And like she never felt it was fair because she would just draw rocket ships and other fun shapes, and he could just pass it off when he was at work.
Right, and it wasn't ever a conversation for him. So this was just another example of sometimes when you're the woman in a relationship, there are so many things that happen that end up holding you back societally. And that your partner just doesn't understand. And so they really wanted to make sure that they would make that final point in the book, that you need to be more understanding of their full existence in a relationship.
Now, this cover, what it represents too, is specifically the time that he hired a tattoo artist to hide well at work and tattooed her while she was asleep.
Which you can see at the beginning of the book, her eyes were actually green, but they turned blue with rage.
I'm more commonly associated with rage.
Eyes turning blue with rage, of course. The way you describe it, it makes it sound like it's a Scientology workbook. But we'll see what the audience has to say.
Why does he think smelling his fingers would improve the situation?
Well, sometimes it's just a reflex mechanism. When you go back to something that you're like, this seems familiar, it'll help me calm down.
Ah, honey, remember this? My stink?
Yes.
Why we fell in love?
Right.
All right, we have a new questioner in the back. All right.
What do you think of the fanfic that this book inspired?
Ooh, the fanfic was better than the original, don't you think? Every once in a while, you're like, I don't like this for this particular book, but this will be a better franchise for something else eventually.
Yeah, it's the best like legal and lawyer centered book that I've ever read. The cases that they bring up, it's actually used now in law school to teach.
Okay.
So what do you think about the scene with Scientology in it? Like when the character gets Scientology and kind of almost try to normalize it?
Well, I really thought it was interesting that they were even going to try and normalize it, because I thought that the church would have set the whole thing down or maybe like disappeared the author for a minute.
Okay, I'm running up to the front because we go with people who haven't asked questions before people who have asked 3. So.
What happened to her other earring?
Oh, shit.
I mean, it's on the other side of her head if you look really closely.
Yeah. Her hair is just swooped. As someone who has hair that eats earrings, I understand.
Like a kite-eating tree.
So where did the children's book go wrong?
So many questions.
That was a weird spin-off of books. Like we had this, we had the lawyer books for education, and then we had the kids' books.
Well, I think that it was interesting that it was so early in the childhood development, but it was still a sex education book is where I think it went wrong. I mean, I'm all for having those conversations where you feel open and honest with people in your family and talking about them when they are age appropriate, but 3- and 4-year-old picture books, I really thought that was a little
And it basically had the drawing of like D's and P's, except in the appropriate places to make it educational.
It's interesting how you think there's an appropriate place, but nonetheless, our time is up, and we are. It's the same amount of time we've always done, but it feels so much faster now, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So that's not the actual title of this book. The Scarlet lowercase d is not the actual title of this book. I know it's hard to believe. But we're going to reveal what the actual title is, Melissa. What is it? Trouble in my business. It's a Raymond Chandler book. Wow. Dang. Philip Marlowe winced as she bared the ugly brand.
Ooh.
And her eyes turned blue with rage. Right. Keeping in mind that the winner of this round will not be playing in the next round, and we want to have everybody play 2 rounds. So the winner of this round.
Understand the assignment, bro.
The winner of this round will be determined by audience vote. Who believes that Lee and Eric won?
Just make it feel real.
Who believes that Jerry and Shannon won?
Thank you.
That clearly was not fixed. So Jerry and Shannon, you're going to take this round off, and we're going to bring Nick and Molly back. My God, this is. I guess we're going to run like 20 minutes short. No, we'll be okay. Okay.
See, Jerry and I are both in game design, so we're used to audiences kicking us in the nuts. It's fine.
All right. So we are moving on to book number 5. Once again, Shannon and Jerry, you don't have a lot of work, but you do have to give us the title of the book. We are going to start this time with Nick and Molly. And we're going to take a look at the book cover now. It is... She's got her car keys hanging out her purse. Okay. What is the title of this book, Miss Shannon?
This is the very popular Our Love is Kentucky Fried. Colon Biscuit Castle.
Our love is Kentucky Fried, colon Biscuit Castle. You have 2.5 minutes to describe this book.
Yeah.
Go.
So, this is actually a tale of revenge and love. It's a long con to try to get him to fall in love with her so that she can get revenge on him killing her family with heart disease. And but eventually, you're like, oh, inevitably they're gonna fall in love. We all know how this goes. But nope.
Yeah, she makes it. We get POVs for both characters, which I always really love in a romance story, so that you really get to see their inner thoughts. And so with her POV, it's very cold and calculating. Like she is absolutely in this for the business, and nothing that happens, you keep thinking, oh, it's going to switch back to her POV and she's going to have her heart melted. No, ice cold, just absolutely in it for the revenge, because as we find out through what the book as it's unfolding, it was her baby sister who he killed.
Right. So I love what you're talking about, Molly, because you'll get a chapter from the Colonel's perspective.
Yes.
And it'll be like, oh my God, I love her so much. I can't believe I'm letting myself fall for someone. Like, I'm finally being vulnerable. She's being so sweet to me. Clearly this is meant to be. And you can see like the fragility of him opening himself up. And then right away it'll switch to one of her chapters and he's like, I fucking hate this dude.
And you know what I love too is that like Appalachia is a character in this book, and like it's like its own character about Kentucky, and just like we're really seeing what it's like to live. Like, I mean, they're in a holler. Like, I don't know. It almost feels like not quite like a period piece, but it's really capturing a place in America. Americana erotica smut.
They fly in a castle from Scotland, brick by brick, and rebuild it in Appalachia.
He's got that chicken money, honey.
And he's like trying to, he does this for her because, he thinks she has Scottish ancestry, but like she doesn't.
It turns out she's actually McCloud, not MacCloud, and she's been hiding from him that she is the oldest daughter of the Irish family that he stole his chicken recipe from, murdering their baby in her crib on his way out.
It is a brutal tale. Like, you get to enjoy the loving parts of him, and then you get like the cold revenge stuff.
And that's time's up. Wow. All right, I can see several people with questions. We have 2.5 minutes for questions. We're going to go right here first.
Would you say that when they made the adaptation to the video game I Love You, Colonel Sanders, that it was solely from Colonel Sanders' point of view?
Wow.
I feel like, when I was The game to me feels like it took some of the hottest scenes from the book and really like it almost feels like the developers were spinning that off into not quite a fan fiction, but a love letter to the series in the video game it just doesn't quite have the anger and the resentment. The video game definitely focuses more on the love parts.
I was expecting a sequel that was more like a psychological horror revenge type game that would be like the same game. It might even use your save files and stuff to like get it from the other perspectives, but I think it got canceled in development. Jerry knows what I'm talking about.
All right, you had been cut off twice with time's up, so what's your question?
What is your opinion on the love triangle between Colonel Sanders and the chicken drumstick?
Oh.
That's
awkward.
It got graphic with the drumstick. I don't necessarily love the really graphic stuff. I'm not so much like a splatter sex person in that sense, but like I know that you said to you it reminded you of something from your childhood.
Well, no, so I grew up vegetarian, so like chicken was always kind of like a gross thing to me, especially with the bones and whatnot, and like her describing it as like this visceral, gross animal parts thing really like spoke to my, teenage vegetarianness.
Sure it did. Okay.
I wanted to know your opinion about the buttermilk biscuit pool scene.
Even when it was the hateful stuff from her perspective, it was like the hottest thing I've ever read. Maybe even hotter from her perspective somehow.
I mean, like, eat my buttery biscuits, daddy, is like gonna just like, it's in my head. It's in my head forever, right? Like, oof.
She said, eat my biscuits from behind.
My teeth, it's like a puffy, I don't know, you can feel it, like you can almost taste the salt.
All right, maybe we'll get a question on the scene.
Without giving anything away, what did you think of the twist at the ending?
Oh.
I think it's all bones.
Time's up. So, Melissa, I'm looking at this, and it appears to me that this is literally Colonel Sanders. Tender wings of desire.
It exists. It's real. Nick wanted to point out that he looked married, but I think that ring's on his right hand because he's just fashionable. Oh, he's got rings on both hands? What a player. I bet he's in a band. Guys with rings are in bands.
This is a Colonel Sanders novel. For real.
The Colonel Sanders verse.
You could get back at, I'm assuming, Kentucky Fried Chicken.
That's a big mom purse. For real though. She's
She's
on a fancy date with her love, and that's a big mom purse.
This is literally a book you could get. It was a promotional tie-in at Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Weirder if it was from somewhere else.
Yeah. No, it's actually obvious. It's hard to believe, right? There goes roast beef. Wings of desire. Okay. We have one final.
Roast beef's in another area.
We have one final book. Lee and Eric will be describing this book for all of you. Of course, once again, we'll have Shannon and Jerry providing the name of the book, the title of the book. Show us the book cover, if you will, Melissa. I feel like the title has something to do with Jason Momoa, but maybe I'm wrong.
This book is 5 Babies and a Baddie.
5 Babies and a Baddie. Lee and Eric, it is your turn to describe this book in excruciating detail for an excruciating 2.5 minutes. Go.
So, 5 Babies and a Baddie is one of my favorite books. It's a fantastic read. It's the typical man loves woman, woman gets pregnant, man goes to jail, woman dies, man comes back as father to quintuplets. So he finds himself trying to acclimate back to the world after finding out that his wife is gone and he has 5 children he needs to support. it's a tale about him trying to figure out how to integrate back into society, and by integrate back into society, I mean find someone to emotionally support him, like most men need.
And unfortunately, just a short way through the novel, he realizes that this just isn't going to work. He can't afford to feed 5 hungry babies. And in fact, we were talking about this an adaptation of this very book the other day on a panel with Molly. What the original title, so they changed the title to make it more palatable to bookstore goers. The original title was Human Centipede, the Baby Edition. And that mostly solved the feeding. He only had to buy 1 lot of formula instead of 5.
So of course, before we get to that,
you chose the book.
We've got this. So before he gets to that point, he realizes that the only way he can support these children is by turning to medical science. Don't boo that, you already heard where it goes. So it's kind of this, like, looking into him having a relationship with this scientist and trying to figure out a way to support these children. Of course, 1 mouth to feed, 1 set of diapers to change makes this significantly more affordable. You know the society. Hey, you named the book. It's really a look into society and economics and how difficult things can be for a single parent.
And it's where Trump's America is taking us.
Time's up. All right, we have 2.5 minutes for questions. It appears
We
that
want to change the name of the book. We regret every choice we made. Every choice that led to this moment. Jerry and I take back.
My question is, can you never speak again?
I believe that's a no.
Sorry.
Unlike 4 of the
Sorry.
babies, yes.
okay. It appears there are a lot of questions. We'll get through as many as we can. We'll start in the front. Here we go.
So, without giving away any spoilers, how did the baddie come to terms when his past came to spite him and the cartel come back for answers?
Oh, that was actually that really turned the book around and gave us a really positive ending because he was able to apply the lessons that he learned in sewing these children, which led directly to Human Centipede, Cartel No More.
I hate everything about this. Okay. Yes,
Okay. What did you think about the Empreg B plot?
Could you repeat that?
What did you think about the Empreg B plot?
The Empreg B plot, yes. You both know what that is. You know.
Honestly, I thought it was distasteful.
With all the difficulties in production, what did you think of the Disney Channel adaptation?
I think that the musical numbers were a bit tone deaf. But they are babies, so eventually they'll grow up and they might learn a little.
I did like the puppets that they made, though. I think it was very centipede.
Puppety.
30 seconds.
Would it be possible if someone could give us some brain bleach?
No. All right, next question.
What about the sequel book, Centibabies?
See, that's actually a common misconception because Centibabies is just about babies at the turn of the century. It's not related to this book at all. It was just a very common mistake.
Yeah, the marketing department tried to cash in on the popularity of this book by putting a a cover on it that suggested that it was very similar in tone, but it really wasn't.
Time's up, thank God. Okay. I don't believe there's any way that the title of this book can live up to what just happened.
Live down.
Apparently it could. What is the actual title of this book, Melissa? Honored the Mountain Man's Babies.
Basically, you were right.
Hey, that's where it started.
What tattooist on the mountain did the tattoos? The mountain man, he's very well groomed.
I've spent time in Appalachia, mountain men don't look like that.
Appalachia's a character.
I have more to say.
Yeah.
There are more of them.
I love that second one where he turns a baby into his prosthetic arm.
I'm not saying, I'm just saying. The first book had 5 babies, and by the last one there's 1.
They're different men, they have different tattoos.
Technically, on the first book, there was just one.
Amazing.
Wait, but wait, there's more.
Hold on, is the author's name Frankie Love? That's a great pen name.
And even better, there are knockoffs. Another challenger enters the ring.
Please no, Daddy.
The one on the right looks like he has scoliosis.
Please no. This is a best-selling romance author. It says so right there. Well, folks, it is scoring time. It is scoring time, and you have an opportunity to determine if Nick and Molly win the entire panel, or if it's a 3-way tie. That's the only possibility here. Nick and Molly win, or 3-way tie. So, we'll have you vote first for Nick and Molly. Who thinks Nick and Molly won this round? That's solid, but can the baby centipede creep out ahead? Who thinks Eric and Lee won this round? For the 14th consecutive year, we have a tie. If you will please give a huge round of applause to Melissa for putting together. Deeply disturbing slideshow. And of course, the other person who helped her create this panel, the deeply underappreciated white man, Jerry Belich. Also, his partner, Miss Shannon Paul. And I want to remind you, Miss Shannon's, your show is coming up on Mainstage in a half hour.
8:30, right after this.
Mainstage, on Mainstage, right downstairs. Of course, we have the fabulous and amazing Nick Glover.
Hey,
The fabulous and amazing Molly Glover. The person sitting next to them, Eric Thompson, who will also be appearing on Mainstage later tonight after Miss Shannon Paul. It will also be comedy. It will be very, very different. And of course, the only panelist who joins us all the way from a much better country. That's right, it's Lee Harris.